Hey everybody, Sky the Guy here. And is it just me or do you see a ton of videos nowadays where it feels like the video is meant for a kid or somebody with a very tiny mental capacity? I'll click on a video that I think is just, interesting looking and I think it'll be slower paced and, you know, stuff like that, but then I'll click on it. And within 30 seconds, it's loud and there's meme after meme after meme and Instagram reels on the page and loud audio. And it's just a total, just a total dumpster fire. I feel like that's been happening a lot nowadays, that videos are like TikTokified, that everything has to be so loud and in your face or else you'll click away. For me, I struggle with this a little in terms of making videos because I have a tendency to really um to say and to say and you know what I mean. And I'll often pause a lot in between a certain sentences when I'm thinking, when I'm recording audio, and then I'll have to cut it down. And to me, that's necessary because you're not trying to listen to, a solid 5 seconds of silence every uh, every 10 seconds or so, just for example. I feel like certainly as a content creator, if I could call myself that, that I'm almost a little scared about trying to keep myself entertaining and listenable. Be just simply because all the videos I see, I know are insanely fast and in your face and very stimulating. And that's what I mean by videos are becoming TikTokified. It just feels like I'm watching a video and scrolling at the same time, if that makes sense. I'm just saying that people have gotten so scared of people clicking off the video that they have to include so much just, utter nonsense. And it takes away so much from the novelty of a long form video. And I know how pretentious I might sound saying that. I know I might sound goofy saying that a long form video has any type of novelty to it. But there are so many videos that I see, and I know I said this, I just want to hash it over again. But there's so many great videos that look on the outside, they look fantastic. I'm judging the book by the cover here. The thumbnail, the description, the title. Things will look interesting and in depth, and then I'll click on it, and again, just total dumpster fire. Just everything in your face at once. And what you thought would have been a good, maybe even a learning experience, it isn't even that because they're so focused on getting people to watch the video, getting people to stay involved with the video, YouTube analytics, checking out, how long people stay into the video, stuff like that. People just can't help themselves and they turn the video into something that it shouldn't be, and it is honestly disappointing. Kind of something that relates to that topic is this loss of respect for authority. School starts for me in a couple weeks, but I've just finished my first week of band camp. I'm in the percussion section. And when the full band is together and our band director is speaking to us, people in battery are looking at each other, slipping jokes, chuckling. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for that. But it's gotten to a point where it's just, people are staring at us. I mean, we're yapping up a storm. And I wanted to mention that I feel like this applies to modern day in classrooms too. At least last year when I was a junior, even when I was a sophomore, maybe even a freshman, people were just on their phone so much in class. When I was a sophomore in my Algebra 2 class, my buddy was showing me just Instagram reels when the teacher was talking. We were the two nimrods in that class, just laughing and distracting everybody instead of doing our work. And the teacher didn't discipline us, so there's no reason to not do it. And the same thing happened when I was a junior. I was in my pre-calc class, and my friend is showing me these Instagram reels. I got a C first quarter because they're just undisciplined and just so bored and ready to be stimulated that just didn't care at that point. Yeah, I'm saying that even when the teacher is teaching, people just go on their phones. People don't care. And if the teacher is asking you to put your phone away, they're doing too much. You know how absurd that sounds? Like, if people get separated from their phones, they lose their mind. There was this girl in my third period who was told to put her phone up, and every single day she'd be like, nope, nope, I don't want to. Or, I will, I'm working on something. It's like a literally a 10-second expenditure. I mean, what in the world are you losing your mind about? It is. I'm sorry. It is. It is absurd to me, and clearly I'm quite up in arms about it. And I wanted to mention, as somebody who doesn't use TikTok or Instagram, the benefit of not being addicted to your phone in the same way these people are is that boredom is fun. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but when you're bored for a longer period of time, you enjoy things a lot more. Think about fasting. Think about how good your food tastes after you went out running or after a school day. Think about how good the food tastes when you're starving. It is so much different. And it is the same exact formula for boredom and entertainment. I will sometimes during band camp, I'd finish up my lunch and we'd have activity time, so I'd just sit outside for like an hour or so. Not an hour, like half an hour to an hour. And when I'd get back in, bro, everything that people said was the funniest thing ever. I would bend over backwards laughing at some of the stuff that people had to say. And that is what makes boredom such a great thing. I have found YouTube videos 10 times funnier. I have been able to make my own jokes. I found my friends 10 times funnier. There's just something beautiful about boredom that people have kind of lost nowadays. Another different topic is people are going to make new things all of the time. And I know that kind of sounds weird. Let me explain. I remember being 13, 14, 12, anything like that. I remember asking about the movie Silence of the Lambs. And the way my parents talked about it, it was like it was the worst thing in the world. Like that you watch Silence of the Lambs and the experience is so scarring that it changes you forever. And I want to relate this to what I said about people make new stuff all the time. Like you'll hear about Silence of the Lambs, like I did, but nowadays, I mean, there's way worse stuff, and there's way more scarring movies that people have made. There is constant innovation for better or for worse. And I know what I'm saying is kind of like a 2 plus 2 equals 4 statement, but there's always something around the corner. And again, it's either for better or for worse. For worse, I mean, there's always like a new iPhone around the corner that you can spend money on, and people can say they're innovating, but stuff like that is questionable. It's a business, it's a cash grab. But then there's constant innovation for better, in terms of medicine and stuff like that. I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm not gonna fake any of this intellectual stuff. I don't read into magazines. Magazines. I don't read into scientific articles. I don't really read news outlets, so I don't know what important innovation is going on. But that's just a thought that I had that people like to innovate a ton. To riff off of that, constant innovation for worse, I wanted to bring attention to how annoying YouTube is. And I know that's, pretty rich coming from a guy who you're listening to on YouTube right now. YouTube UI is like one of the worst things in the world. At first, on the phone, it was just so much different. I remember when they moved comments from the bottom of the video. I remember when you were watching a video on YouTube on your phone, and there'd be a video at the top. There'd be like 12 or 15 videos that you could scroll through in the recommended section, and there were the comments. And then they put the comments at the top, and I really didn't like that. And when you put your phone, when you tilt your phone horizontally and you swipe up, you could look at the videos. You used to be able to click on the person who made the video and subscribe and stuff like that, but they just always change the UI. And there's no customization setting. It's just all up to YouTube. One last thing I wanted to say before I get into a kind of a silly topic, as per usual, is getting mad over nothing. And I know that's a little ironic given that I was just complaining about YouTube UI and stuff and how up in arms I seem about that. I used to work at a restaurant, and anybody who works at a restaurant, first things first, I'm sorry for you. Second thing is that I just remember how how stressed I was coming into work. Everybody was fine. Every single coworker I had made the place seem great, but the head chef there was not necessarily a hard ass, but that fool got so mad that it made me nervous to come into work. That I was sitting in my car and my heart was pounding before I even clocked in. That transitions really well into being mature. Like one time at work, This guy was sweeping up in the bakery section of the restaurant, and the manager was messing with the lights. And I look over at him, the head chef in the bakery, and he's waving his arms about, making some pissed off face, like, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" You know, just so business oriented that he doesn't really take into account the feelings of his coworkers or his employees, which is a little insane. And I want to talk a little bit about maturity. I think this is a topic for another day. I know I said one more topic, but just calm yourself down. It's kind of crazy to me how immature some people can be. My English teacher last year, just I had him first period, and the way he handled himself was just embarrassing. I don't want to give another anecdote because I've already listed so many in this video, but just getting so mad at kids. The best idea they have to resolve conflict is to yell about it and swear about it and be up in arms about it. And when in reality, it's something that can be just if they just thought about it for a little longer, then maybe they could have just been like, well, this doesn't really affect people better. Like the head chef at the restaurant, screaming and swearing and yelling doesn't exactly provide for the most helpful environment. Just like how a teacher screaming and yelling and swearing over due dates on essays. I'm trying to say that their immaturity got the better of them. And I'm saying that it made them not achieve their goal. When you're a teacher, you want a person to feel welcome. When you're a head chef, you want your employees to be confident enough to tell you about mistakes or anything like that. That fool, I was scared of that fool. When I had to take food back from tables, oh my gosh, that's the worst. Stuff like that. He would cry like a baby. It's unbelievable. I'm sorry. That was immature. Anyways, in conclusion, what I'm saying about maturity is that pause and think for a few seconds before you lose your mind. There's always better conflict resolution. And I would like to end with a funnier topic. I was watching a video today about Ben Dean, one of my favorite YouTubers, I guess. He lives in South Korea, he ate some noodles, and it made me pretty hungry for some noodles. So I threw some chicken in the oven because I already prepped some, and you can't exactly put chicken back in the fridge. Blah, blah, blah. So I threw it in the oven. I put on the timer for like 20, 15 minutes. And I sped off in the car to find a little Asian mart near me, and I bought some ramen. Not cup of noodles ramen, but I bought some ramen because I was feeling peckish for it. I didn't eat it because I had that chicken coming out of the oven, and it kind of made me upset. But yeah, my my desire got the better of me, and I succumbed. I fell, my knees buckled, and I just had to go buy some ramen. Well, that wasn't funny at all. Just a fun little anecdote, I guess. Alrighty, well, thank you guys for watching. I think, if anything, I've orchestrated all my points pretty well in this video, so leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.